Hi guys, so we all know that there is a deal that has happened between Facebook and Reliance JIO. Everybody's talking about it, and it has happened a day before. So what I'm going to do is, we know about the bits and pieces about this, but I'm going to actually consider this as a case study, and this is something that we can learn a lot from. So this is something I'm going to put as a case study format, and we're going to learn how it's going to help Facebook, how it's going to help Reliance, how it's actually going to help the Indian customers and the Indian economy eventually. So let's take it in the case study format. Hi guys. So we now know that there is a huge deal that has happened between Facebook and Reliance Jio. Everybody's talking about it, everybody knows about it, and there are a lot of information available on the internet also. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this as a case study because a couple of things we can learn from here as far as the business perspective is concerned. So let's understand this in the format of case study. A couple of interesting things I will tell you during this video. So have a look at. So number one, when you talk about any sort of a deal that happens, so this is something definitely you will be learning when you join B school, or maybe if you are somebody who's actually doing an MBA, you might have learned this. So the number one thing is that you can see a great synergy between Facebook and Reliance Jio as such. Now, the reason if you look at here is Reliance Jio has always been, or it's been a long, they've been trying to kind of penetrate the market. Fine, and they've been trying to penetrate the market wherein they will have a lot of consumers on their platform. And when you talk about the leads, or when you talk about the consumer database as far as Jio is concerned, no doubt Jio is number one. They're actually sitting on a gold mine, right? So they have always been looking for an opportunity wherein they kind of expecting a sort of investment wherein they will definitely kind of have this platform wherein they can actually penetrate the e-commerce industry even more, and again they can actually get an entry into the e-commerce platform. That's number one. Another thing to be considered here is that Reliance has always been very much clear, or I would say that it is the primary agenda of Reliance to be a debt-free company. Now, how do you become a debt-free company? So we know that Reliance has huge amount of debt on it, right? So this has always been the propaganda, or this has always been the agenda that they definitely want to go ahead and become a debt-free sort of a company. So this deal, which is a whopping deal of like $5.7 billion, is actually the first step taken by Reliance towards a debt-free company. Now, so it's helping Facebook, it's helping Reliance, and that's where there is a great synergy between these two companies, and that's where we see that there is going to be a great future in this, right? Now, this is something a conceptual level. Then you talk about the financial synergy, right? So Facebook is actually ready. Facebook has invested around about $5.7 billion. Now, let's hold on to this. Now understand a little bit of background. Let's understand about the deal of Aramco, right? So when you talk about the Aramco the deal wherein Reliance was ready to kind of give them 20% stake in its oil business, which is the primary business of Reliance Industries as such. But again, that because of the deal has not been happening over a period of time, Reliance has been getting a lot of hiccups. So this deal, I don't see this deal, upcoming in a near future. So this deal is kind of on a halt now, right? So this is the one reason. Then you talk about the coronavirus, kind of the this pandemic, screw up and everything. If you go back and look at the share pattern or share price pattern for Reliance was trading at around about 1600 rupees in the month of March. But if you look at 23rd, 24th, data of Reliance share, the 52 week high was 1600, but 52-week low, it was horrible. The 52-week low that Reliance share touched was 880, which is close to 50%. Imagine your 100 rupee becoming 50 rupees in a day's time. That was the second, I would say, that hiccup that Reliance had to take. And then comes the oil crisis, wherein the oil actually became negative. Even I was surprised to see that, because I strongly believe that equity can become negative some point in time. However, oil cannot, because there is something involved which is called as cost of production. But we know that it actually went into the negative, and because of which it actually hit Reliance even more. Now, when you understand that, you have this pandemic going on, which is the coronavirus. You have a lot of negativity in the market. Businesses are not running properly, and when you have this oil crash also, I think it's a great deal. And again, when you see that your share price is tumbling like anything, it's a great time that you actually come up with something which is more positive and that can give a ray of hope or kind of a confidence to your stakeholder. And I think this is a master move from Reliance point of view. and that's the reason this deal has been completely fixed in a couple of days, or you can say over a night's time, right? And this is something that you can learn as a business lesson from the one of the the best businessman that we can see right now, Mukesh Ambani, who's the chairman of Reliance Industries. So this is what we can learn, is that yes, you have a lot of negatives going on, and that's how you kind of turn the table around by giving your stakeholders or giving the market a ray of hope. And this is a massive deal that we can see that's happening. So these are the couple of things that you need to understand, that what's the reason behind this, how Facebook is gonna get benefited. By the way, I'll tell you, so number one, when you talk about this, right, you cannot actually have any sort of a deal, or you cannot actually go for any sort of a major deal, or as big as Reliance JIO and Facebook deal, if you do not see any sort of a synergy. Now this is quite important, right? And we have seen there are a lot of mergers that have happened, there are a lot of acquisitions that have happened, but synergy did not play a vital role in it, and that's how they failed. So here there is a great synergy, because if you look at the reason behind this is, if you have seen something called as net neutrality, this was the propaganda run by Facebook a couple of years back, but again it wasn't that successful. Now that's number one, because this actually opens the door for Facebook to get into India, and Reliance JIO is actually giving Facebook a platform which is nothing but the internet at the lowest rate. So again, what Facebook was aiming for since a couple of years now, it is actually coming true. So it actually helps Facebook to kind of come back to the same the if you look at the amount of money, which is $5.7 billion, it has also been said that by the researchers that this is the highest, okay, I'm saying this is the highest ever paid by any sort of foreign company for a minority stake in Indian company. Now minority stake is basically a stake which is below 51%. Now 51%, what do you exactly buy when you say that a company is taking a stake in another company? What do you buy? You actually buy equity share, okay? Because equity shares are those shares which shows the ownership in the company. So definitely Facebook has 9.9% of the stakeholders or shareholdership right now. So it's 9.9, which is the minority. It's the hoping, but again, this is the highest that any kind of a company would pay. Again, this is the highest FDI that we have ever seen. You're getting my point? So somewhere you see that there is a synergy, and when you have a synergy, you can actually pay a little bit of more, which is something in finance term is called as premium. Okay, why? Because you see a great synergy out here. Fine. Now, who was the investment banker or who was the financial advisor to get this deal done and dusted? It was Morgan Stanley. Just for your information. Fine. Now let's look at a couple of more details here. Okay, now what was the goal behind this deal? Now this is something really important for all of us. So if you look at Facebook has actually not been really successful in actually making that kind of a top line or revenue as far as the Asia Pacific is concerned. So here is a chart if you can look at. So what it says that more than half of the world's population lives in Asia Pacific, no doubt about that, and it has always been a great market for Facebook. But if you look at where Facebook has made a lot of revenue or top line is US and Canada. That's $10,248 million over there. Rest of the world is $2,000 million. Europe $5.1 million, and Asia, that's going to be around about 3.66 million, $3,000 million. Okay, so this is being the lowest one, I would say, and this has always been one of the major agenda of Facebook, that they wanted to actually kind of garnish the Indian market, or wanted to get into the Asia Pacific market, and India being the majority. Because if you look at in India, we have around about 400 million users as far as WhatsApp is concerned, and I think the second largest is around about 80 million as far as the Instagram is concerned. So Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp used in India like anything. And again, I think Facebook is coming up with a platform called as Lasso, which is nothing but the direct competitor to TikTok. So again, this is something that Facebook is also aiming for. So if you look at the funda, right, to getting onto the Jio thing, and having this platform wherein they can actually get the e-commerce thing run and up and running. This is something maybe new in India, but this has already been there in other countries, predominantly China and Indonesia. They have this kind of thing wherein along with chatting, they can actually book cab, they can buy grocery, they can shop, they can do a lot of stuff on that front. So this is something what JIO is now aiming at via JIO Mart. Okay, so this is what I've just talked about. So this would actually bring together JIO Mart and WhatsApp to enable people connect with the business. The point here is that if you have JIO Mart and WhatsApp sync with each other, majority of the time, customers would be on JIO's platform, and all the products you want to shop, you want to buy anything, you want to want to buy any sort of stuff, you are in that reach. So you are in that circle as such, wherein anything that you want to buy, it's just a click away, and that's where JIO might get a monopoly as far as the market is concerned. So this is one of the thing that Reliance is looking forward for. Now let's look at this. Reliance will invest this money in enhancing e-commerce presence in India. So this is what has always been the purpose. So this is something we know. Now let's look a little bit ahead. Now what's in here? JIO Mart WhatsApp synergy. What is it? So if you look at, JIO Mart is planning to create e-commerce platform with Kirana. Now this is quite important. Now if you look at, we have mall system, right? Though we have mall system, it is indeed proven that the retailers, the small shops are actually running the country. So you can look at this entire graph. See, 7% is e-commerce, 18% is organized retail, but 75% are the traditional ways of buying and selling the products. All these are the Kiranas one. So this is what the JIO is attempting to get all the Kirana stores on their platform. So a small business can also come, the medium business sort of a level business can also come, and the top level business can also come. So this is where I would say that they might have the monopoly on this. And if you want to know how big is the Indian retail market, the valuation is $1.2 trillion. This is massive. This is massive, and that's the reason these guys are actually keen on getting these things done. So if you look at, this is just a statistics that even at the time of this coronavirus, the Kirana shops, right? They are actually catering to 75% of the people. So again, when we talked about the Walmart coming into India and a D-Mart sort of thing, again, these Kirana stores are the big win. Moving ahead. What is JIO Mart? We know this is going to be nothing but sort of Amazon or Flipkart. So this is going to be a direct competition to Amazon and Flipkart and Grofers and anybody else out there in the market. Now, this is how it works. So let's just say if you are putting anything on the Instagram as far as the advertisement is concerned, right, about a product or anything, right? I'm going to talk about the synergy and the benefits now. So if you're putting any sort of an advertisement in Instagram, and if your subscribers or if your followers are actually using that, clicking that, you can definitely add that product into JIO cart. Okay, so that product gets available on JIO. That's number one. That's how you start selling in a rapid manner. Then database. This is the main thing. So you can actually say that FB can use JIO data, and in the same way JIO can use Facebook data. So this is how they will be able to kind of synergize this deal, wherein the database can be shared and they can come together and work on the database, and the database is massive. So JIO Mart aims to sell over 50,000 grocery products. Now this is what they are just kind of thinking about. So just like Amazon Prime now and Grofers, JIO Mart will not maintain any warehouse, but will allow local retailers and Kirana merchants to list their products on the portal. So it's the same thing that we've just talked about. Again, it's the same thing, but it looks like a huge thing which can actually give a boost to JIO market. Now, what's there for the shareholders? Now, this is a great news for any shareholder. This is the price. This is the closing of day before yesterday. So day before yesterday, which was roundabout, this is the closing price of 20, not exactly closing, the closing was 1363 INR. So this was on 22nd April. Now if you look at, the share went up by around about 127 rupees in a day's time. I remember being a shareholder, I remember I entered Reliance stock when it was round about 946 or 906 something, right? Now anybody who has entered at this point in time, you can just understand what kind of profit these guys have made. Fine. So again, this is a good news for your shareholder. Again, it's just wait and watch. I will be anyway gonna make, I'm gonna make a case study on this. Again, there is something that I will be coming up with as far as Reliance stock movement is concerned. So this is something we will be discussing in detailed manner. But again, so this kind of thing has helped Facebook. It has helped Reliance. It has helped Reliance stakeholders. It is actually helping economy also, because when you have this kind of a pandemic and somebody is actually investing $5.7 billion in your economy, it gives a good boost, and it's kind of an it's a news where the entire world is actually looking at. So it's a kind of a positive thing for Indian economy as such. Now the only thing is that we need to wait and watch that how does this entire thing gets executed. Fine. So I will be making a couple of more videos on this front, and again, like, the videos will be uploaded on the Analyst Stage YouTube channel. So request you all to kind of subscribe to this channel for more sort of case studies and more sort of analysis on the business and economic news. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. That's it from my side.